This video is brought to you by Crown Gambit. There's a link in the description for more information.
Hello, Windbreakers, breakers of wind, farters, big farty bum heads. Welcome to the Windbreakers podcast. I'm Yahtzee Crojo, and I'm joined by Jay and Marty as always.
The biggest farty bum head there ever was.
Mm-hmm. You ever heard of bum farto?
No. And now I'm going to type it in and get.
Is that like a version of Balacho with farts?
No, I was watching one of them true crime YouTube videos about, and there was this dude whose name was Bum Farto, who
That's a really good name.
Was a fire chief and was disappeared in mysterious circumstances. But anyway,
drug dealer.
Yeah, but what we're talking about this week is, of course, all the many announcements that were made in the recent showcases and Summer Games Fest. Many of which I haven't really investigated. I did look up a couple of things that I heard about, but we're going with our usual routine where you tell me about all the wonderful things we can expect, and I will tell everyone why they shouldn't be excited and why everyone should kill themselves.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm going to start off. I'm going to start with some of the stuff that's on this thumbnail. Yahtzee, can you believe it? A new Resident Evil's coming.
That's one of the ones I'd heard about, yes.
Yeah. Resi 9.
Resi 9, Requiem, and the Q in Requiem is a 9.
Q.
They've done it.
Is that where they put the 9? I was trying to look for it and I didn't find it.
They've
now
done
we can I guess now we can speculate what they're going to call the next one, like Tyrannosaurus Rex, Resident Evil 10, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That could be good. That could be real good. This game is coming out February 27th, so it has a release date next year. It stars a character named Grace. This trailer stars a character named Grace Ashcroft, who is apparently the daughter of a character from Resident Evil Outbreak.
I was racking my brain trying to think if Grace Ashcroft was someone previously established by the series.
Yeah. So
it sounds like it is.
Yeah. I thought she was going to turn out to be, Ethan Winter's daughter, all grown up, or something.
That's
like
100%
that.
what I thought in this thing.
Does she have stitch marks on all of her limbs and stuff?
Yeah, it seems like we go back to like a nuked out Raccoon City for the first time, like post Resident 3. Like what's going on there?
Well,
I also think this trailer is a bit of a misdirect. I do not think she's going to be the main character of the game. I think Leon.
It's going to be Chris Redfield.
I think it's going to be Leon. I think it's going to be like the end of Leon's story. But yeah, so that's all. We didn't see any gameplay. They said there's going to be a demo later on this summer. So there you go.
All right. Well, we officially know fuck all. But from the previous pattern of Resident Evil, anytime they try to really go in deep on the established series canon, the result is usually shite. Resident Evil 6 springs to mind. And the series only ever really reinvents itself when it does something new that doesn't really feel like it's related to the rest of Resident Evil at all. As in Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 7. So I'm not holding out much hope for this one. There. I hope you all have had all your hype deflated out from that one.
I still have my hype. I still have my hype because I know deep down inside you like video games. And I do. Like this video.
I really love a video game I played recently, which was an original IP that no one expected any big things from. And basically secured my general feeling that you shouldn't really expect anything to be good just because it's a sequel to something you already like.
Mario Kart World. Incredible.
I have feelings about this because I was really sold at the beginning because I really love the X-Files and seeing like the inside of an FBI facility and seeing all the meetings, I was like, ooh, X-Files, Resident Evil, I'm keen. And then I saw the bombed out Raccoon City and I saw the like RPD like bombed out building and I was like, nostalgia, not you again. I was just like, I want something else. I don't want this
you
to just be
can't
like
also be on
Raccoon
Team
City.
Crump nostalgia. There's got to be some balance here. It can't be me versus the two of you going, "Brah, I don't like old things."
Well, we didn't
I
see
like
any
old things.
fucking. Well, we didn't see any fucking gameplay, so this is all we can. This is literally all we can say.
This is a real baby. Let's stick with survival horror. Yahtzee Silent Hill F. Do you like the franchise Silent Hill?
Yes, but I'm not expecting anything good out of this game just because it's got the name Silent Hill on it. I'm looking forward to it because it seems to be some kind of original idea that they have, in their very characteristic way, just slapped the name of an existing thing onto so that the dum-dums can get hyped.
The dum-dums are absolutely hyped, let me tell you.
Just from looking at it, it doesn't seem to be very terribly related to pre-existing Silent Hill, but that shouldn't matter, as I keep saying. If it's a good game that holds up on its own, on its own 2 feet, I will be satisfied with that.
Yeah. So Silent Hill F...
Should have called it Silent Hill Fatal Frame. That's it in Japan.
Whoa! I mean, it is. So it's set in a rural Japanese town in the 60s. This is coming out September 25th, so pretty soon. And it is, people are stoked because this one is written by Ryukishi07, who's written visual novels that people love, like Higurashi and Yumineko. So people are very excited about this. The trailer looks good. The monsters look fucking scary. Let me tell you. These monsters, I don't want them hurting this girl.
Yeah, but
remember when monsters were scary?
I'm sick of seeing twitching women in Silent Hill. Like, I like.
Yeah.
If you watch that trailer, there is one like blob monster that has a tongue arm, sick as fuck. The rest are just variations of twitching women. I'm sick of seeing the nurse done over and over and over. I don't care. Show me something surreal and disgusting and interesting, not just like a weird twitching woman.
I just can't seem to get away from twitching women.
I think twitching women and Silent Hill are synonymous. I think they're absolutely synonymous. I do not think you can do Silent Hill without twitchy women.
Give me one level with twitching women, not repeated twitching women for the entire trailer.
Disagree. I want them the whole time.
every Silent Hill's got nurses in it. Like the first 4 main Silent Hills, they all had different interpretations of nurses. Like in Silent Hill 1, they're like, zombie nurses. Silent Hill 2, they're sexy nurses to reflect the general themes of that game. Silent Hill 3, they're similar, but again, rejiggered to resemble the sort of themes in that game, like very, very female-led stuff. And then in 4, they burp and fall down the stairs.
It's very funny.
That's surreal.
More new games. Based a wholly original idea, not based on an IP. 007 First Light.
Oh yeah, that certainly is a new IP.
Well, yeah, but
this is
James
Bond. What if James Bond were a 27-year-old little handsome boy? Think about that.
I was intrigued because I saw like pre-rendered footage of how James Bond looks in this, and it's uncanny. He looks like every James Bond actor smeared together into one dude.
Finally,
which I suppose
enter the Bondverse.
Yeah, that's all you can do, really.
Yeah, this we didn't see a lot of gameplay. Well, I don't think we saw any gameplay from this, but this is IO Interactive, which has me excited because I think what they did with the modern Hitman games is really fucking cool in terms of their little sandboxes, and I think doing that in a Bond world feels like a win.
See, well, the thing is, Hitman's a great, covert operations game. It's not a great James Bond experience because James Bond is not about covert operations. James Bond is the worst spy. James Bond is extremely overt in his actions.
I think it's a mix, right? I think there are instances in James Bond where he is doing covert missions that usually go wrong, so you can have the action. But also he is always interacting with people. Like the idea of going to a casino and having to interact and play in a game with someone to get information to then go off and do your mission. I think that seems like this could really work within a really tight linear experience. But from the trailer, a lot of what we just saw were, as we're seeing here, set pieces and like gunplay. And I hope that you have a little bit more freedom in how you explore. Like, I hope IO do their Hitman thing, but we're in the context of James Bond rather than just set piece. It's you're Nathan Drake, but James Bond, right?
Yeah.
Could you see James Bond like doing stealth gameplay in the manner of, say, Hitman or say Assassin's Creed?
I think stealth in terms of not like a ninja never seen stealth, but in I'm going to put this outfit on, or I am going to blend in with
so
this
Hitman
crowd.
style.
Or, Hitman style stealth as
James
opposed to
Bond-
like
James Bond never blends in. He's the guy who walks into a casino wearing an extremely expensive suit and introduces himself by his real name to every fucking person he meets.
But this is young James Bond. Maybe he hasn't learned those tricks yet.
Oh, fair enough.
Or maybe it's a choice for the player.
It's a choice.
Like you can go stealth, or you can just use dialogue options and your charms to get in if you want, or just shoot the place up. I don't know. I just hope it's a little bit more IO interactive, less Uncharted.
Okay.
Another game that was at PlayStation. We're wrapping up the PlayStation games. Stranger Than Heaven.
Which it's a new one to me. That's a weird name. This was
called Project Century. This is the new game from RGG Studio. So this is the Yakuza folks. Brand new game. It is called Project Century. This had a teaser trailer that was set in 1915 in Japan. This trailer is set in 1943, Osaka. I think with the name Project Century, it feels like your character is somehow either immortal or extremely old or living through all of this, and that you're going to be living through various eras in Japan.
Okay, so you'll be in like 1940s Japan while Japan's being a bunch of gits.
This feels like they're probably taking a little liberty with it. Their version of 40s Japan didn't feel like there's currently a war going on in the background.
No.
But the tone, the vibes, it seems almost a little more detective-y, almost like a cross between Like a Dragon and...
he's wearing a trench coat and a fedora. Like
Oh my goodness.
It's very noir-y.
Yeah.
Well,
it looks like.
in the early 20th century, even non-detectives might be wearing a trench coat and a fedora.
Yeah, it was all the rage. But the vibes of it really good. Seems really cool. Definitely looks like it's familiar ground for RGG Studio, but it feels like they're taking it in a different direction, which I'm excited for.
Well, it's about bloody time.
Yeah. We also, I think, wrapping up Sony was. Have you heard about this Marvel fighting game?
I have heard that a Marvel fighting game was happening, and I presume it's not Marvel vs. Capcom.
It is not. It is a Marvel 4v4 fighting game, just Marvel characters, called Marvel Tokon Fighting Soul. It is developed by Arc System Works. This is the Guilty Gear team.
4-on-4? Like at the same time?
4-on-4. 4-on-4. No, not at the same time. You're tagging in, but it seems like you have a singular health bar.
Okay.
So you, instead of like Marvel vs. Capcom, where you're like, oh, I've lost this character, now bringing a new one in or whatever, that you have a singular health bar, and how you use the characters is up to you. But between Arc System Works, who are obviously known for Guilty Gear, Dragon Ball FighterZ, the Persona fighting games, and it hasn't been confirmed, but it seems like a lot of the art, like the actual character designs, has been done by one of the artists, the guy behind My Hero Academia. I'm going to be honest, this has a lot of styles. I'm excited.
Man, video games are really milking whatever's potential is left in Marvel as an IP, aren't they? Clearly getting in while the getting's good before everyone completely sours on the franchise.
Yeah, it's cyclical. Everyone will get mad at it, and then it'll come back in a little while, and everyone will be happy.
I mean, does anyone really think Captain America is that compelling a character? He's a burly dude, and he's patriotic. There's not much to work with there. He does the right thing. Oh, great. Well, that was unexpected. What a turn.
Ooh.
What an arc.
How do you do the right thing in
bad?
a wrong world, though? Think about that.
Oh my god.
About that.
And
then another game, Romeo is a Dead Man. Have you heard about Romeo is a Dead Man?
Yes, I did hear about this one because this is the new Suda 5.1 game, isn't it?
Yes, Suda 5.1, Grasshopper manufacturer. They said is their, quote, bloodiest game yet, which I can't imagine.
No, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think I was so sold on this game. So Eric, go back to the beginning of the video.
During this
when they were showing off like these cutscenes and the art style and everything that transpires in this opening, I was like, this is awesome. It's quippy, it's funny, it's an amazing style, it's really cool. And then gameplay started and I was like, nah. Like the gameplay looks like the most generic stuff I've ever seen. It's crazy.
Is he? Because I've like peered closely at the credits, and I think it's another case where he's like co-directing it with someone else. and that when that happens, he tends to take a back seat.
Yeah, I mean they have like several games in development, so his role almost feels like it is the put the name on the box so that people know he did something with it. But I like the idea of it that you're an FBI agent tracking down like space-time fugitives. So it seems like they can get pretty creative with the scenarios and levels and folks.
Yeah.
Just hope that's expressed through the gameplay, right?
I feel like it seems to be like a similar setup to No More Heroes, except it's fugitives instead of assassins.
Yeah,
that's just like the umbrella term to excuse having a progression of quirky characters and quirky scenarios.
Yes. You know what? If I feel like people just want Suda to play the hits, so when he's playing the hits, I think people seem happy.
Maybe he doesn't want to play the hits. Maybe he wants to make his own weird shit. Maybe he's an auteur.
Yeah, I mean they've got that Hotel Barcelona game that has a demo now. That I don't know. A lot of times, Suda's a weird guy where it feels like he's released some games that are like all timers for me, and then other games where I'm just like, well, is this just a paycheck job? Which is fine.
Yeah, he's up and down.
Yeah. We also got a new Capcom game, or an update on a Capcom game called Pragmata. This is a game that was shown off several years ago. It was supposed to come out, I think, in 2022, got delayed till 2023, and is now back and then delayed till 2026. This trailer features this is a sci-fi world where there is a large man in what looks like a combination of like a exoskeleton / astronaut spacesuit, helping a little girl get through a world of robots. I already gave my theory on Firelink, but so this game has you. I believe you are part of the Helios corporation in this game. The name of the corporation is the Helios Corporation, which has associations with Apollo, the god of light.
Yeah,
light being Dr. Light, and this little girl is wearing blue, and her arm can turn into a cannon. I think this is a Mega Man game.
Helios is the god of the sun, incidentally.
Yeah, so I think this is a Mega Man game in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
You think that might be rock and roll that we're looking at there?
I think it might be. Whether it's a reboot, a prequel, just sort of a reimagining. I think the color, her being that shade of blue and her arm turning into a cannon, I do not think for Capcom is a coincidence.
It's Hairy Dad Mega Man. No,
Hairy Dad Mega Man.
If this is Mega Man, this is like giving me vibes of when they made Bomberman as like an ultra realistic thing. And
but what was it? Bomberman Zero? Bomberman Act Zero?
Yeah, and everyone spat all over it.
Yeah.
This is the exact opposite of Romeo's a Dead Man for me. I was really sold on the aesthetics of Romeo's a Dead Man, and then the gameplay turned me off. The opposite happened with this game, where I think when they were explaining what it is, they said it's like going to be a blend of strategy and action in this game. It's going to be a combination of both things. Mm-hmm. I think there's something interesting to be done there. But then when I look at the characters and I look at the art direction, I'm like, this could be any game. This could be like the clean versions of Callisto Protocol before the bad stuff happens.
It looks a bit Dead Spacey. The main character's armor looks a bit Vanquishy.
It just could be anything.
Yeah, Vanquish honestly was the combat. I was getting a little bit of Vanquish vibes.
That I do get very strong Vanquish vibes. The girl just behind you, that's very, as I say, Hairy Dad. A bit Resident Evil 4 as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks kind of painfully generic if we're gonna like put a word to it.
And if it is a Mega Man thing, like then do something interesting with it visually. Because if it's just it's a kind of generic looking sci-fi world, but also this is kind of a reference to Mega Man, then just like pull the band-aid off and make a fucking Mega Man game, you cowards.
Maybe it's going to pull like a Resident Evil 9 and they're going to rearrange the letters in Pragmata to spell out Mega
I was trying
Man,
to do that when the name came up. I was like, does it say Mega?
I just thought of what they could call Resident Evil 10. They could call it Resident Evil Reloaded, and then the L and the O can be the 10.
Oh, gotcha. I was thinking an X for the... I was really confused because I was in Roman numerals. I was like, I don't see an X anywhere in there. We talked about a lot of AAA games. Let's take a sec to look at the indies. Okay. There is a game that I think was yesterday at the Xbox conference that I think was probably the most delightful game, and it's called There Are No Ghosts at the Grand.
And such a Yahtzee game.
This is a this looks like one trend we've been seeing is they're taking sort of the cleaning genre, the spray. What's the dad clean 'em up game that you love?
Power Wash Simulator.
Power Wash
So they're
Simulator.
taking the kind of concept of this genre, but it seems like folks are pushing it into more like narrative territory. So this game has
Okay.
you as the new owner of a hotel, and you need to, by day, you need to clean it up, you need to fix it up, but at night there's fucking ghosts everywhere. And so you have to use the same tools you're using to clean the thing up during the day, you're using to ghost bust at night. And
So
it
it's
seems
like
there's
Haunted
a
House
community
Renovator,
aspect
but
to it.
not shit.
But not bad. Yeah, I was thinking that exact thing when I saw the trailer.
Yeah. It looks really neat. It looks like it has musical elements, like characters were singing. It was a really delightful trailer. I thought this was really cool.
Well-
And in terms of a thing I just didn't know existed, I was like, okay, this is suddenly has my attention.
Turns out I'm very easily won over by games with big musical numbers. Big
It's happening.
musical centerpiece numbers.
Listen, I'm happy to hear that 2025 is the year where these are taking a center stage.
Hell yeah.
Possibly intended. Speaking of a game that does have a musical number, guess what's coming back, Yahtzee?
Oh god,
Persona 4 is coming back.
that doesn't have. Oh, that does have a musical number.
Yeah, they do. They do a little showcase with Risei. Persona 4 Revival got a super short teaser. I think this game is not nearly as far along as I thought it would be.
No, if it was more finished, we'd have seen more of it. But yeah, it's
They literally don't
just-
show any NPCs. They show like 2 seconds of you running through town, and there's
Is
no
this
one
a
there.
remake?
Yes, this is a remake of
Yes.
Persona 4 in the vein of Persona 3 Reload.
Persona 3 Reload. Yeah,
Yeah, I will say.
I don't know. I sort of fell in love with Persona 4 Golden, but I don't see myself wanting to play through it again, like in this
my
format. To be honest,
I'm gonna be honest. I replayed Persona 4 Golden a few months ago, and I immediately wanted to play this game. I just like this world. I just want to hang out with the buds. You know who I miss? The buds. You know who I miss? That little fox who's at the shrine who asks you
Well-
things. He's got a little handkerchief.
well, play the fucking fighting game or the dancing game or any of the 900 other things.
I don't want to play those. I have a bunch more, but I feel like I've been babbling. Jay, were there any standouts of from you, or do you want me to just keep going?
Let me look at my list. There are no ghosts at the Grand was a big standout for me. Hoping for good things from James Bond and Resident Evil. I'm a bit concerned about what Game Freak are doing with Beast of Reincarnation.
Okay,
The
There was
Pokemon guys?
so there's I'm sure Eric will bring up the trailer. There's a scene where it's showing a corpse on the ground and like the foliage around it and the particle effects are running at like 2 FPS. And I was thinking, oh, this looks jank. And then the Game Freak logo came up and I was like, well, that makes sense.
That checks out. So they've had they announced this game or this project a while ago that they were working on like a AAA game, and originally was being published by Private Division, and so it officially got revealed as Beast of Reincarnation. This is a multi-platform game set in like a post-apocalyptic Japan that looks like a cross with like Nier,
it's like-
but Mononoke.
It looks like Sekiro Monster Hunter so far.
Just a very strange thing to see from Game Freak. My gut says this is a small team at Game Freak and a very large outside support.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That doesn't look. That doesn't look fun. That doesn't look like something I would enjoy.
You sounded like a beetle there for a second.
Generic.
That doesn't look like something I would enjoy.
Can you imagine?
Game Freak.
I don't know. It just the color palette just sort of turns me off, and it's just dodging and blocking and parrying and all the other stuff that's gotten.
I
very
will say
broad.
I am growing numb to 3D action games that may or may not have Souls-likey tendencies to them. It's just, it feels like we see them like a dark fantasy take on this. At least this isn't like a European-centric fantasy thing, which Casey and I were talking about how kind of sick we are of dark European fantasy. Just like
Yeah. But also, I'm kind of sick of overgrown, like, dystopia. Near kind of fucked that when they were just like, oh, look, it's robots, but also nature has taken over. But not really. It's like, okay. It just seems a bit played out.
Did you not like Nier?
Yeah.
No, I like Nier. I think when games come out that are trying to do that, I'm just like, it just feels derivative. Just like Callisto Protocol, but with child Mega Man.
Yeah, I am
Visually, it's just like
I am distinctly unhyped.
Unhyped.
Yes.
Can I get you
it's crazy. It's crazy that we live in a day and age where I can see the Game Freak logo, and I'm more worried than I am excited.
But you haven't tried to run Scarlet and Violet on the Switch too, have you?
Not yet.
Hey, I remember that Pokemon.
Arceus, maybe?
It's Johnny Pock.
I actually don't know if that was his name. Shout out to Pokemon. In terms of smaller stuff, Double Fine announced a new game called Keeper, where you play as a lighthouse who grows legs. And I'm going to be honest, it looks very nice. This seems like a smaller Double Fine project. This is not a Tim Schafer-led game.
Well, yeah, Double Fine does like to experiment and game jam, and occasionally it pops out weird things like this.
That's why I respect them.
What do we know about it beyond the fact that you're a lighthouse on legs? Do you have to direct ships?
No, it's you literally get up and you start walking. It feels like it's a combination of like puzzle platform, but you use the fact that you have a big old light as your face to help illuminate things and distract things and solve puzzles. This is also coming out later this year, which I'm excited about. This is coming out in October.
What a wild concept.
Yeah. You got cool little bird on your head.
That's one of those lost a bet sort of gameplay projects, isn't it? We lost a bet, had to throw some darts at a wall covered in post-it notes, and now we have to make this.
You can't complain that things are derivative and then complain when something's original. You gotta choose a lane.
There's such a thing as middle
I like
ground,
the look of this.
You can't complain about both. You know why? Because when you complain about both, you get Thief VR Shadow of Legacy. Thief's back, but it's VR. Have fun, Yahtzee.
Fuck off.
This is what you get. This is what you get when you don't appreciate the other games.
Well, okay. Well,
are you gonna play Thief VR: Legacy of Shadow?
You better.
Also,
no, I'm absolutely fucking not.
You know what's angering me? If you go to the Steam, let me make sure it's still like that on the Steam page. On the Steam page, the S in Shadow isn't uppercase. What are we doing? Capitalize the S in Shadow. Get your shit together. If you're going to launch a Steam page, don't put a lowercase S in Shadow.
Well, at least they didn't change the S into a 5. Would this be Thief 5? I guess.
Yeah, because the reboot was Thief 4. Thief.
Yeah,
Thief 4.
The 4th. Yes, the 4th.
Just shoved it in there.
No. They're using the logo for the previous Thief. No. Bad Thief. This is not good Thief.
They stole
good
it.
Thief died.
That's on brand.
They stole it. That is on brand.
Good Thief died with Looking Glass.
I like it. I think I only spotted of the major conferences 2 VR games. There was that, and then there's a Deadpool VR game that's coming out.
Legacy of Shadow. Fucking Legacy of Shadow. That's one of those pick a word from list A, pick a word from list B titles, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something I'm very excited about is a game called At Fate's End. This is from the Spiritfarer team.
Fucking name?
This is from the Spiritfarer team.
Name?
This is from the Spiritfarer team.
I don't care. That title's shit.
All like the creative leads from Spiritfarer that've been working on this game. This is a narrative-heavy 2D action game where you play as a member of a family that has completely splintered apart, like cousins, brothers, sisters, uncles, and everything. All of you have these godlike weapons, and your goal is to ultimately confront all of your family members and either patch things up or kill them. But the thing is, not only are you getting stronger in combat, but you are learning things about the family members that you will then use while dueling them. Like dialogue boxes will show up during the duel, and if you learned about like where their tragedy started, you might be able to talk your way through it, or you might be able to say something that gets them off guard to be able to help you in the combat.
I don't.
This looks delightful.
I have a sinking feeling about kill or spare. I think that's smacks of binary moral choices. I thought we were past that.
Well, if it's like you can convince them to basically stop trying to kill you with the information you've gathered.
But obviously, one option is going to be like the good moral ending, and one will be the bad, not moral ending. Obviously, killing everyone would be bad, because I assume like saving them all would take a little more effort.
Yeah, or maybe killing some of them and saving others is good and bad. I don't know.
Games like this never reward you for flip-flopping. Might as well just ask you at the start. Are you going to kill everyone or spare them?
They might. We shall see. I mean, you're probably right, but I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because this looks pretty neato.
Never.
I should have
Never.
fucking called in sick today. Clockwork Revolution, the new game from In Exile, big Xbox game at their showcase.
Gosh,
this
that
is-
title makes me think of a lot of things already. Makes me think it's going to be like Atomic Heart. Yep, I was right. It looks like
It
Atomic
looks
Heart.
exactly like I thought it would.
This is steampunky. I will say the trailer genuinely funny. This has genuinely good British humor, which you know me. I don't like the British.
Well, maybe we could be the
I don't like the
judges.
food. I don't like the slang. I don't like the humor.
You don't like the people.
I don't like the people. But I thought this trailer was genuinely funny.
Is it a British game?
It's from In Exile, the Wasteland people. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know where they're from.
It's the opposite of Mascot Society. It's a Japanese game pretending to be British.
I can get down with that. I can get down with that.
Yeah, I'd be super down with that.
Yeah.
Japanese culture tends to gel with British culture in a lot of ways. That's why Promise Mascot Agency feels like a Japanese game.
Mhm.
Island nations with weird senses of humor and awkward memories of imperialism.
What is this mechanically?
This
Yes.
is it looks Bioshocky, but the main sort of the thing it hinges on is you have a time dilation device on your wrist that can make certain things in the environment move through time. Again, almost like opening up the rifts in Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah.
It seems like
Infinite.
there was a thing where you shot a dude to death and then you rewound the bullets so that they went back through them again and went back into your gun, so you didn't waste any guns or waste any bullets, which I thought was cool.
Okay, anything else you want to talk about? Because super chats are piling up, and we should probably get started on them at some point.
I have one that I want to touch on, which for me, I don't know if Marty's got more.
I got a lot more. I spent fucking 9 hours streaming these goddamn things. You can spend 40 minutes listening to me try to get you excited and fail miserably.
Oh, well, I was hoping you'd curate them a bit.
I'm excited.
I've been curating them.
He has.
I saw fucking 500 games. It's not my fault.
Okay.
You're just Johnny Hrumph.
That's my role.
one.
We all have our roles in life to play. You'll be happy for Johnny Rump when shit games come out.
That's true. I need you, Johnny Hrumph.
My one that I'm a bit dubious on would be Super Meat Boy 3D.
Oh, yes. I saw that, and my immediate thought was that is going to be a huge pain in the ass to control from that perspective.
100% agree.
Why did they pick the absolute worst perspective to do a 3D platformer?
I know. That looks terrible and awful.
Yeah.
I mean, Edmund McMillan isn't even involved anymore with Super Meat Boy, is he?
No, because they also showed off, I think they gave a release date for Mugenics. His actual
that's his
coming out.
Yeah, that's his thing.
This looks so difficult for like a what do you call those, platformer or whatever?
It's way too the character's way too small and indistinct, and the visuals are way too busy. That's going to be a terrible experience.
And it's in an isometric fixed camera position where you can't maintain where the character is because you're on such an insane axis. It is mad.
Did we learn nothing from Frogun Encore? Fixed cameras and 3D platforming are not happy siblings.
Counterpoint Frogun is great, and don't you dare say anything about that frog with a gun. Also, you mentioned it briefly, but did you know 2 Atomic Heart games got announced? Atomic Hearts 2 and what looked like an Atomic Hearts Battle Royale. What's going on there? Why do we keep doing Atomic Hearts?
What?
Yeah, it looked like a Battle Royale on a floating cube, like a Rubik's Cube that rotates, and so like the environment rotates. It looked like a Hunger game.
Yeah, it's the only good Russian franchise, I guess. Russia's just really leaning into it.
What about Brothers Karamazov?
What about
Extinction?
Escape from Tarkov jokes? That game sucks.
Yeah. I'm trying to look if I had anything else big. Oh, there was we got tricked by Call of Duty Black Ops 7 because it didn't. The trailer was not a Call of Duty game. It stars the dude from Heroes, and it looks like a sci-fi game where you're going into like fucked up horror mind palaces and stuff. And then at the end, they're like, "It's Black Ops 7," and I was like,
"That was the end of Black Ops 6, wasn't it? That was like what you did at the end of Black Ops 6. You went into someone's mind palace."
Yeah, this looks like it's leading heavily in mind palaces.
So I guess that was a stealth pilot then.
Yeah,
if that's what
look, there's this fucking Inception City.
This is going to allow I will stand by that. I think a lot of the Call of Duty campaigns do some interesting things. If this allows them to just rip that cord and be like, Mind Palace every level, let's do wild shit. I'm there for
I think specifically the Black Ops series does interesting things. The other Call of Duties, you piss off. In my view. Modern Warfare, get out of here with that shit.
Well, what about Postmodern Warfare?
I
don't know what that would be.
What about before
joke
Warfare?
relating to postmodern art that isn't quite clicking in my head right now.
I got that because I consume art. Great joke.
Damn,
It's just really hard to define postmodern art because that's like basically anything that isn't old.
It's like pornography. I know it when I see it, and I crank to it.
I
The last
postmodern,
game.
I think postmodern has to be self-referential to a certain extent. Anyway, never mind.
Yeah. The last game, and then we can do super chats. This wins the award for game I do not think is real. It was called Sea of Remnants. It was by a studio called Joker Studio, and it is described as, quote, an ocean adventure RPG / simulation / survival building / turn-based strategy game. And this was the trailer made it look like Sea of Thieves, but everyone was sort of like a puppet marionette, and it looked like it had a little bit of everything in it, including like pirate naval combat and cozy building and playing with animals and turn-based like RPG combat. And everything they showed, I was like, I don't think any of this is real video game. So I think this is the fake video game of the year award.
Is it turn-based naval combat or turn-based?
No, the naval combat looked real time. The land combat looked almost. I'm going to say Clair Obscure, even though I'm going to say Clair Obscure because Clair Obscure is the first RPG ever. That's what I'm going to say.
No, I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with this particular blend. I mean, there's a lot
I think it's fake.
There's a lot of facets a game can cover. Like we recently played Fantasy Life I that sort of pulls it off, having like a million different mechanics, but the loops need to intersect properly. I don't think naval combat and turn-based intersects very well.
Yeah. I'll disagree with you, Marty. I think this game does exist, but I think the only mechanic you'll be able to interact with will be writing off your taxes, because that's what this game is. It's a fucking tax write-off.
I'll tell you another game with multiple gameplay loops that intersect very well. Oh, actually, I can't tell you what it is because it's still under embargo. Shit. Oh Christ! I can't wait.
You're doing a video on that, right?
It's like next week's review, fully rambling. I cannot fucking wait to be able to talk to someone else about this fucking game.
Well, you know what? Maybe they'll alter the embargo, and you'll be able to talk about it early. Do you want to go to super chats?
Oh, that was skating the fucking line.
You can. I'm of the opinion if you like something, you can break an embargo. Okay, if you don't like something, keep your mouth shut.
You can. I'm not part of this conversation. I'm staying out of this.
Let's go. Oh
dear. Okay. Super chats. Okay. Please save us from ourselves, chat. Raven giving $2, doing Raven's weekly word of the week, which is a thing now. Week 4, lugubrious. It means sad. Try again next time, Raven.
Damn, I've been hella lugubrious this stream.
Yes. Disconsolate. Unhappy. Generally,
is anyone using what was it? Lugubrious?
Lugubrious, yes.
Who's using that in conversation?
Upon the day that my childhood primary school teacher who used to hit me with the K, and
I think you could probably like blow everyone's mind if you used it as a rhyme in like a rap battle.
What would you rhyme lugubrious with?
Have you?
I don't know. Serious, dubious. There you go. Your rhyming is dubious. Your choices of words are making me quite lugubrious.
I like it.
Have you won a rap battle if they have to like pop out their thesaurus?
No, I feel like you lose a rap battle if you do that, and then your grandma has to pick you up.
Yeah, you just got to
Grandma, I'm feeling lugubrious because of this rap battle.
Raven,
I use lugubrious during the rap battle. Graham. No, they were not impressed. They asked me to leave.
Hi, Toffee.
They kicked me out.
Raven also gives $5 and says, last week you discussed my name. For the record, it does indeed come from a love of the poem / Edgar Allan Poe. I am not from Boston, lol.
It's in Baltimore, not Boston. So you might be from Baltimore. They're probably not from Baltimore either.
I was in Boston today. Can you believe it?
Damn, let's have a little tea party.
I got a crazy announcement to make. I quite like Poe's writing as well, and I am also not from New England.
Get the fuck out of here.
I would go so far as to venture that it is possible to like Edgar Allan Poe and not be from the same place where Edgar Allan Poe is from.
That can't be true.
Are you ready to get dum-dimmed?
Yeah.
Because I like Poe's writings and I am from New England. So
Get the fuck out of here. This is insane. We need to do some research.
what's rapping at my door? Oh, it's the immigration service.
Oh no.
I'm picking on Puffy. I was making sure he wasn't nipping off to do a sneaky poo in the corner, but he was just going to have a drink.
Classic.
Happens. to us.
Faz gives 199, says, just finished the first Dita book and loved it. Well, I got great news for you. There's a second Dita book, and
Get
I'm
out
working
of
on a third.
What?
I know.
Amazing.
Mr. Sadface gives $5 and says, Yahtzee, please say, excuse me a second, just get some saliva in my throat.
Greetings, Doomslayer. Are you ready to die?
In your Dr. Claw voice. I don't think we'll be seeing any Heretic stroke Hexen reboot.
That was impressive. Why don't you think we'll be seeing a Heretics / Hexen reboot?
I don't know, but coincidentally, I was looking for like a game to like faff about with over the weekend, and I saw Hexen on my Steam list, and I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna play Hexen again. Who cares? And I started it, and the controls were bound to cursor keys rather than WSD, and they wouldn't let me change them. So I chose not to play it after all.
That's that should be
every
illegal.
time. It's every time I go back to play like System Shock or Knights of the Old Republic, I'm just like, this controls like ass. If anybody knows of like Knights of the Old Republic mods that make it not control
I'm sure they must exist.
let me know.
Alex Armstrong gives $2 and says, found another word, retread. What does it mean?
Dun, dun,
My
dun.
dyslexic brain read that wrong.
I would call a game of retread if it was a sequel, if it positioned itself as a sequel, but was really just going over the same beats as the first game. That's what I
mean,
would
are like
call a
sports
retread.
games retreads?
I guess.
You could have 10 be Redux, right, with the X.
We've
Yeah,
moved
I
on
mean,
from that topic.
I think it almost sounded like they're going to be like this might be like wrapping up a bunch of stories. So maybe the next one's going to be like
It's a
Ah,
rap
a
battle.
reboot. Although 7 felt like it was a little bit of a reboot as well. So
Yeah, I mean, that's what 6 was doing. 6 was like wrapping up all the like errant plot
This-
threads. And
This
everyone
is
hates it because it
first person,
sucked.
right?
this is sorry, what, Jay?
We saw a little bit of gameplay. This is first person. It's not third person.
I don't think we have seen gameplay.
No, I don't think we saw gameplay. I did see the trailer.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be third person, but that's coming from nothing.
Well, is it gonna? Is this
first.
gonna? Do we think this is going to be like wrapping up the first-person era of 7 and 8, or is it continuing the trend that the Resident Evil remakes of like 2
Well,
and 3 are pursuing?
I mean, if the rumors of Leon being the lead is true, then
Lead on.
What? Visually, from the trailer, it seems like it's leaning towards first person. I could go into that, but it would just take too long. But I do think this trailer seemed to have a very different tone to the previous 2 first person games, especially Village.
Yeah.
So I'm potentially leaning now towards maybe it's third person and is, finishing off Leon's story, the lead on.
as long as I get to finish off Leon, I'm happy.
But Leon's been in. He's been like, as well as the games, he's been like a bunch of like spin-off movies as well. He's got to be like 90 years old now in the Resident Evil canon.
He's immortal.
But anyway. Or is this like following on from the Resident Evil 4 remake? So like it's a new continuity, right? Not having 5 or like 5 and 6 and now didn't happen.
Into the Resiverse.
Wow.
Look at him there. Look at him there.
Whoa, Leon's
Whoa,
giving me a very awkward look for having saying that. How dare you remove Resident Evil 6 from canon? He seems to say. David Hulsh. Oh, missed one. Sorry. Missed 2, actually. Nonkey gives $5. Says, all is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. I don't know where that's from, but it's a very inspiring message in today's troubled times.
I thought for a second that was a game, and I clicked it, and I did not see it. I don't know what that is, but I liked it. I thought that was good.
And then Alex Armstrong gives $5. Says, speaking of RE words, the fact the next Resident Evil game has a generic re-subtitle must drive you up the wall, eh, Yahtzee? Hope it's a good game, though. Hope into one hand, shit into the other, and see which one fills up first, as they say.
What if I shit into a toilet instead? Think about that.
That's probably the smarter option, yes.
Then
I'm
Hoping for a toilet.
And maybe
But
hope into the
Requiem
toilet as well.
works well for the word. If it is closing out the story, and the Q and the 9. Very
Well,
good.
let's face facts. This isn't going to be the last Resident Evil game.
No, never.
No,
Nothing is the last anything ever.
no.
There'll be an actual apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, and they'll be pumping these bad boys up.
Oh yeah, dog.
Yeah. David Hughes gives $5. Says, "Hello, Second Wind. Catching this live for the first time as I took the week off to work on that Steam integration stuff for my first ever game. Ooh,
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let's hope you escape the white noise of indie releases on Steam.
So many. There's so
Fingers
many.
crossed for you, bud.
Yeah.
Don't lose hope.
That's
Maybe
huge. You made something. Remember, you made something. That's fucking awesome.
You might get a whole 60 Steam reviews.
Yay!
Yay. A superb owner gives $5 and says, "Last week you did the thing again in which you willed a new game's hook into existence. Baby steps is tertiary gameplay loop of finding a place to poo."
We were
not
talking
sure
about the poo.
That does happen in the demo. I'm not convinced that's going to be the thread that takes you through the whole game.
No, you probably need to have different goals.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that last week? I delete all podcasts.
We did.
From my
We
head.
talked about a game where you were just. I think me
Yeah.
and Yahtzee went off on a weird tangent.
Yes, we joked about how it would be funny if there was a game where it was like a standard sword and sorcery fantasy RPG, except the plot was we're looking for a place to shit.
Each dungeon you go in looking for a toilet, and they're like, "Your toilet's in another dungeon."
Yeah.
Oh, and they progressively get redder and redder.
Yeah. David Hughes comes back with $5 and says, "It's all thanks to that first Game Maker Studio ad from a year ago."
Hey!
The game that they are making. presumably.
Incredible. I love that
Game
game.
Maker
That's actually legit.
Yeah.
Really glad we could show that off, especially with Yahtzee's all of his dev diary stuff. It's great.
Amayasa gives 50 AEDs and says, "Felt that boxing out of words Lego Voyagers are the interesting games to me from the fest." Okay, those are titles apparently. Would be nice if you'd sprinkle a couple of capital letters in there, Amayasa. By the way, what horror stalker villains haven't been done yet? A killer rabbit or zombie Hitler, Mike Tyson? A slasher movie where Mike Tyson is the slasher villain. There's a thought.
That's just
And he tracks everyone's locations with pigeons.
So Felt That Boxing. It's a game called Felt That, but it is. It looks like a Punch Out game, but everything is a puppet. It is. They've somehow they've somehow made it to look like Muppets, which I think is very impressive, and I don't know how they did that. And then Lego Voyagers looks like a very nice kind of co-op.
That game looks so cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know what Out of Words is, but I'm sure that's nice too.
Susiguru 2000 gives €5. It says the main character being upside down with wet skin is just more Guna bait, referring to the Resident Evil Requiem trailer, I assume.
Yeah.
What do you mean more Guna bait though? What was the previous Guna bait in Resident Evil?
Oh, what's her name in
Leon?
8. No, it 8.
Oh.
The big mommy milker. What was her name?
Oh yeah.
That's
Lady
right.
Dimitrescu. Yeah.
See, I forgot because she
I should have
dies
said
at
mommy
the
milker. On the
first
stream.
act.
I'm sorry.
Details are important though. In the Requiem trailer, when the Guna bait is upside down, her hair and fringe is all pointing up because she's suspended upside down. But then in the Silent Hill trailer, when the wobbly women come out, they've got a fringe and they're upside down, but the fringe is plastered to the head because they couldn't be bothered. You and your wobbly women.
Wow, you've really got a narc on for the wobbly women in Silent Hill.
I
today,
do. I
haven't
don't
you?
know. I think I might need to go see my therapist about it. To be honest.
Love the wobbly women.
What has show us on the doll where the wobbly woman touched you, Jay?
It was the fringe.
Ryan Betts gives $2 and says, "How about Resident Evil X: Return of the Titular Mister?"
Mr. X.
Titular Mister.
I hope he's doing all right.
He sort of vanished from the franchise after 2. It's all been tyrants. Since
Isn't he dead?
What if he's the guy? He travels back in time to 1900, and he's the main character from Project Century, the Yakuza game.
I would be very surprised if that was the case, Marty. What a very
That's how he could live through the entire century.
Do you know what? With Requiem,
there was no
Carry
proof
on,
that Mr. X was immortal. I mean, quite the opposite. We killed him within hours of meeting him.
I was about to say there's no proof that he wasn't immortal, but we killed him, so I think that's proof.
Yeah.
proof.
What I need from Requiem is that I really hope they don't do irradiated nuclear zombies, because the nukes clearly didn't kill the zombies in Raccoon City, and I hope they don't do it where if you're near the zombies and they're near you, you get radiation sickness.
My gut
that
says
sounds
the game is not going to fully take place in Raccoon City. I feel
I
like
hope
maybe
not.
that's like a prologue thing. Yeah, I think the trailer, not a bait and switch, but I do not think the trailer is indicative of what the actual game.
I just want it to be
It's
an
mostly
FBI game where you'll spend your entire time in that office and you're just trying to put together evidence to prove that
Yeah.
the Raccoon City incident happened.
But you're also
just-
building like a really nice will they won't they with your partner, like Scully.
Yeah,
and Mulder.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
and
just
you
have a
never really know.
You never really know, but there's a
No, I just have a horrible feeling this is just going to be RE6 all over again.
No.
Yes.
Get that
I hope
feeling.
not.
Nick Warden gives $10. Says cozy horror fans eating good this year.
A lot of cozy horror games.
I think generally 2026 is going to be quite the landmark year for big releases, good and bad.
Yeah,
We take those.
Uh,
That's great for
yeah,
us.
a
We're
lot-
eating.
I think because of I'd like to say that Cult of the Lamb, which was like a massive fucking financial success. That game
Still
sold
need to
so
play
many
that.
fucking copies. I feel like it really helped usher in cozy horror. Wasn't obviously the first game, but I think we're seeing a lot of cozy horror games going forward.
Haunted Chocolatier hopefully will add to that niche
Sure,
as well.
yeah.
Yes. How many tricks were in the pony that was Eric Barone? That's what we need to find out.
Hopefully.
Listen, if that's only one, if that pony's only one trick, that is the most.
That's one hell of a
valuable pony
trick.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The actual
It's-
translation of that pony doing a
it's-
trick would be it doing 5 backflips and exploding.
Well,
like,
it's an impressive trick, but even the most impressive trick gets old. Alex Armstrong is $2 and says, beat stroke loved Thief 2 and Filcher. Recommend Thief 1 and 3. Thief 1's going to be disappointing if you started with Thief 2, because Thief 2 was improving upon it. Thief 1, well, the problem with Thief 1 was they didn't quite believe people would like stealth as much as they would. So there's a lot of like basic action, monster hunting stuff in it. And Thief 3 was after like they were moving to a more sort of Doom 3E sort of engine, where everything's a lot more high def. And as the compromise, they had to have much smaller levels, and it's much less sprawling and interesting. So either of those would probably disappoint you if you really liked Thief 2. Sorry.
or just wait for Thief VR: Legacy of Undercase Shadow, which will be
don't
the
play
best Thief game.
Don't fucking encourage them.
Best Thief game.
Mohit Vigia gives 200, whatever that is, and say, glad to catch you all live. Love the content. Quick question. Is there any game character in recent memory you really despise solely for story reasons? Cheers. Ooh, what was the recent one?
Indian rupees. That's what the currency is. I had to look it up.
you hate Indian rupees? What
No,
game
that
were
was
they
what the currency
for?
was. That was what the currency was.
I kind of hated the characters in Blades of Fire because they were just kind of boring, really.
What game was that?
Oh, Split Fiction. Yeah. I hate
Oh
the
yeah,
big gut.
Split Fiction. Yeah, those were bad characters. What is? Oh, Blaze of Fire. God damn
Yeah.
it! I could not.
You know,
remember
not
this fucking game.
Castlevania.
Not
Yeah,
Castlevania.
yeah. Remember the
Split
game no one
Fiction
can
is a great
remember
answer. Yeah,
because
Split
it's so
Fiction.
generic.
Split Fiction is a great answer.
I can't think of any right now. That woman from that game where you go from modern day to fantasy and she just quips all the time.
More spoken.
Yeah, I
Oh,
put
yeah.
that game down real quick.
Yeah. We're misogynists. Sussy 2000 gives €5 and says, that doesn't feel like something I'd enjoy. Me when seeing any Souls-like.
Fair.
There you go. Yeah, I found my limit. I found my ceiling for Souls-likes, it turns out.
I've been playing
Brad
a lot
gives,
of Night Rain.
Brad gives $2. Says
Are
it's
you on
not a
the Night Train?
lowercase.
Can
Excuse
we talk
me.
about Night?
This is-
Wait, can we talk about Night Rain a little bit?
Excuse me. This is Brad's moment to shine.
Brad,
Brad,
is it
go
okay
on.
if we talk about Night? Okay, we're gonna talk. We're gonna let Brad talk, and then we're gonna talk about Night Rain a little bit.
I know we'll do Night
he
Rain.
gave $2 and says it's not a lowercase shadow. It's just sneaky.
Brad, that was pretty good. That was pretty good because
Okay.
you wore.
Wait,
you
no.
took this-
Brad has paid money to steal my joke. I said this when we were talking about that. Rewind the fucking tape.
Brad came up with an original, artisanal, handcrafted farm to
All
table
right,
joke.
I'm lying. I went forward in time and I read Brad's super chat. And
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you bastard.
Really
I
quick,
know.
are you? Yahtzee and I clearly have no desire to play Night Rain because we don't like doing anything with other people. You've played a lot of Night Rain without spoiling
I've
a future video.
Played almost 70 hours of it.
Get the fuck out of here! Why is that so many hours?
Where do you find the time?
Because it's my next video and it's work.
Oh,
Right.
Fair enough.
So
Well, some of us have to stop work to be a family man at the end of the day.
that's on you. So it might surprise some people. When I started playing it, I was like, what is this? This is mad. Like, I'm not sure I like this. Now, after the time I put into it, this might be one of my favorite Souls things. I think it is an anomaly that this thing exists, and I think it's fantastic.
Well, I'm still not inclined to play it right now. I'm playing Deltarune at the moment.
And that other game you really like.
Yeah. And my Switch 2 is coming in soon. So obviously I have to, put a cow on a motorbike and whatever everyone's been banging on about.
Oh yeah,
Makes a great doorstop.
Titties out. Shush.
Yeah.
Oh, you shush.
Fuzzy Freestyle gives $5 Canadian and says, sadly, I'm most excited for Persona 4 and Final Fantasy Tactics remakes. Shut up and take my money again. Pragmata equals Proto Man plus Mega Man. Marty wins.
Thank you. Pragmata kind of does equal that. Oh yeah, they're doing like a little remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't think you can show
right.
it.
Yeah, I heard people were really excited about that. I've not played any of it.
game's
I'll
great.
tell you what, I've been recently getting back into Final Fantasy 14,
Hey.
and it's really making me want to dive into the Final Fantasy games. I've never played any of them, and I'm like, I really like turn-based games, and I'm like, I really should jump in and play some.
I like
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 6. Play that one.
Play that one. It's got a lot of good quality of life.
That's the thing that puts me off, because usually if I start a series, I want to start from the beginning, but that's a weird journey to take with all of these.
Like up to 7, basically every Final Fantasy is just the same game again, but fixing the problems and elaborating upon the previous one.
Yeah, but because everyone has such definitive favorites, and it's usually the first one they play, I'm getting choice paralysis from being like, where do you start? Like, do you start with 6 or 7 or 8, 9, 10? Bloody hell! It's just.
Well, if you start with 1, I think you'd probably get bored.
I watched a friend play 1 through 4, and they stopped.
Yeah, they're boring. Captain President gives $10. Says, Marty, tough crowd, eh, mate?
You know what? We're thriving. We're fine. No one's crying.
I'm optimistic about a lot of what's coming. I think a lot of it looks quite interesting if they do it right, but some of it is just wobbly women, isometric 3D platformer. What
you can't keep using wobbly women as pejorative, because wobbly women sounds great to me.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like wobbly women?
I'm a little worried where Yassi's going to take this. So I want to move on to the next thing.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Sorry. Well, they have to make the characters move unnaturally because it's uncanny valley horror.
Yeah,
and
Japanese horror.
Being a bit trembly is one of the ways you can do that.
Love a nice tremble.
If you don't put in wobbliness, I'll just be really conscious of the fact that they're deliberately trying to avoid being wobbly.
What would the male version of wobbly women be?
Wobbly men.
No, but wobbly women sounds nice because of the alliteration.
Skanky knees men.
Again, not alliteration.
It's like this. It's like
something with an M.
I don't think there is a synonym for wobbly that starts with M. Mumbly men.
Mumbly men. A lot of horror games have mumbly men.
Yeah. Mumbly men and wobbly women.
Oh, that's dumb.
Okay, I'm sure the chat have already ran to the thesaurus to see if there's a thesaurus a word for vibrating that starts with M. Murmuring men.
Yeah. Melty men, that works. Filthy and free. Melty men.
Oh, a lot of games got goopy boys.
Cheese
goopy boys. Goopy boys grow up to become melty men.
Rise up, goopy gang.
Anyway, gyrating gentleman. There you go.
I like that, milady.
Yes. Wobbly women and gyrating gentlemen. Fuck off, chat summary. Fucking AI. Nobody likes you. Steel Clad Gamer gives 276 Canadian and says, "Stay optimistic, Marty." Well,
they could never crush me.
276 Canadian doesn't give me much cause for optimism. To be frank,
Nothing could harm me.
There's such a spectrum. It's like we've got optimism, pessimism with Yahtzee, and I'm like skeptical. I just don't trust. I just don't trust anything. I'm like, this trailer's absolute horseshit. Like,
yeah.
I think the reason
gameplay.
I stay optimistic about art is because when I look at the world, it makes me want to blow my fucking brains out. And so I just find some happiness in the art. I'm like, this will be nice.
You're like, that tiny girl has a Mega Man arm. Woo!
That's sick as hell. Also, democracy's dying. But let's look at the tiny girl with the Mega Man arm. That seems cool.
Civil War. Forget about that.
I'll focus on that after I clock out for the day.
Is this name an anagram of Mega Man?
Anyway, Alex Armstrong, who's got the #1 crown, incidentally, gives $5 and says, "Yahtzee, you used to weekly check the ZP wiki to see when that mad fan uploaded the script for the latest episodes. Do you still do the same with FR? Every now and again. Although, I do like to check and see if they misheard any of the words again, which is always weird because we supply a transcript of the video most weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Are there people who just read your reviews?
I presume so. I mean, there is a wiki that just has all the transcripts up, and it's faithfully updated every week.
Wobbly wiki.
Witticism gives $5 and says, "So wait, Clockwork Revolution's gimmick is the same one from Singularity. Time is a flat circle, wrist mounted."
I miss Singularity.
Who remembers Singularity?
That's a good game. Listen, I think
it's
having
alright.
a little pocket time machine is a good idea.
It worked well in Titanfall 3.
Yeah, in that one chapter of Titanfall 2. Yeah.
Oh man, don't make me sad. Don't say Titanfall 3. That just made me sad.
People are going to take that out of context and think I've seen it or something. I haven't.
Bargo Busters.
Denmark gives $5 and says, "I just got here. Has anyone told him about the Deadpool incident?"
Oh yeah, the trailer I think was kind of like goofing on Silksong. Was that the Deadpool incident? Like they goofed that Silksong was going to get revealed or something, and then it turned out to be Deadpool.
Oh, that is a terrible way to announce your game.
But they did reiterate that Silksong will be out before the end of the year, which
okay.
I have a feeling that game's not going to be good.
You don't?
Fingers crossed.
You think this might have been a singular trick knowing pony situation?
Yeah, or just like there's no way it can match the game everyone has in their heads.
Yeah, I just think with this Deadpool thing, that is an absolutely god-awful way to advertise your game, of pretend to be something that a lot of people are excited about, and then reveal anything you reveal after that is not going to be as hype as the thing you tried. It's almost as bad as...
Well, it's taking away from the indie property to showcase something that's in bed with Disney and Marvel.
Yeah.
Which leaves a bad taste
and Facebook
in many people's mouths.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad as a marketing blunder as going out on stage in a make FPS great again MAGA hat.
And then shit talking
on big franchises.
Yeah, and then showing your trailer, which just has Imagine Dragons and looks like a battle royale.
And then doubling down on Twitter. It's just not. It's
fun.
not a good look.
Tsunami Dusha gives $20 and says nothing.
Incredible.
Amazingly, astonishingly.
I feel douched.
I love that comment gets like so many likes. I absolutely love that. Let's see how high we can push that next time, guys.
We're all glad that some things never change. Evil Engine number 9 gives $2. Yeah, I noticed you moving my webcam across in anticipation there, Eric. Evil Engine number 9 gives $2 and says, "Toffee fee." Or maybe I don't want to pick up Toffee. Maybe he's comfortable where he is, just out of shot.
I'll get Ludo.
Dogs.
He's having an adorable little sleep, as it happens.
And I'll get my KK Slider amiibo. The only thing I have close to a pet.
Woo!
Play a song for me, KK Slider.
Ludo continues to not give a shit, I see.
No, she don't care. Say hello.
Hi, Ludo.
You can't talk. Off you pop. Go on.
Vactor upgraded membership to the Green Gang. And then Dr. Theo gives $5. Says, the game I'm looking forward to the most is Ill. Been following that game for a while, and I'm a sucker for over-the-top body horror. That's going to be a pain in the ass to Google, isn't it?
Yes, very much. Cool trailer. I also get the none of this is real vibe from this trailer.
It's very... I did see this one. It's very pre-rendered, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very like this is not how humans move a controller or a mouse or anything. Listen, this has got great goopy boys or melty men or whatever the fuck we wanted to call them. Some great
gentlemen.
Gyrating gentlemen. It's got a great array of just spooky shit following you. But until I play this or see this being played, I will remain a skeptic.
Oh, finally, something you're skeptical about.
No!
Welcome to the club, Marty.
Most
Yay.
goopy boys. Oh, look at that thing. Look at all this goop.
Nidorom gives $2. Says, been loving the Yahtzee Tries complication videos. I think you mean compilation videos. Yeah, I've been doing those for ages, Nidorom. Where have you been?
Yeah. The one from this weekend ended up going up this morning because we were doing streaming yesterday. Give those a watch. And if you want more of them, watch the full streams.
Yes. They're like, it's not just, clips from the stream. I'd write a whole extra review of all the games I played.
Yeah, well, bonus
it's a whole thing.
Absolutely a whole thing.
Nirast25 gives 25 rons, appropriately enough, and says, I'm going to bring up Anno 117 Pax Romana, simply because Marty had no idea what that word meant when it was revealed. Please educate him. It means year 117, the peace of Rome. Pax Romana was sort of the... what you might call the rallying cry of the Roman Empire, saying, hey, let's just all live together in peace. It's nice.
How'd that work out for them?
Not terribly well, but they had a bloody good run.
There you go. People were offended that I didn't know what Pax Romana was, but then immediately afterwards, I knew what Fair Dinkum was. And I said, it's because I have Australian friends and I don't have any fucking Roman legionnaires as friends.
I mean, the ancient Roman Empire lasted longer than the United States. Turns out.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but they did it in reverse. They went from a dictatorship to a democracy. We're doing the reverse here.
Yeah. Pax Romana. I appreciate your describing what Pax Romana is, and it is not going to be saved in my memory.
Okay. Blistered Soul. Hey, quick test. What does lugubrious mean?
Can you use it in a sentence? Sad.
There you go. Blistered Soul gives £1.99.
That's mad.
Gives £1.99 and says, quick test. What was the game I reviewed last week?
Was it Blades of Steel? Blades of Fire. Blades of Steel was a hockey game for the NES. Was it?
Yes, it was Blades of Fire. I got there in the end.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow 3.
Blistered Soul gives $1.99 and says, Yachts or Jamate games at next Summer Game Fest 100%. We'll work on it.
Yeah, get cracking, boys.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Do you know how much money we would have to pay to have our games shown at Summer Game Fest? We'll have to get in bed with Jeff.
Yeah, I mean,
that's no easy feat.
I think it'd be much easier to do one of the smaller showcases, Wholesome Games Showcase or Future Game Showcase.
I'm going to go to every single games media event over the next year just so I can meet Jeff and become best friends with him and be like, here's my shitty indie game, put this on the main stage. And he'll go, no, go fuck yourself. And I'll say, fair.
We need Hideo to come out and explain the Strand genre once again.
Anyway, Alex Armstrong gives $2 and says, wait, isn't retread just the same as soft reboot? Not necessarily, but let's not get into a semantic place.
Yeah.
Also, my interpretation of retread would be something like, I would have described Bayonetta 2 as a retread. Basically just hitting the same notes as the first game while positioning itself as a sequel. Yeah. Soft reboot is like fucking that new Ghostbusters where it's about the granddaughter of Egon and it's all really ghoulish and horrible.
Yeah,
they bring back all the dead actors.
Yeah.
ASDFGHJKL176516 gives €2 and says COD trailer was the best one till it was COD. Frowny face.
Again, I would just temper if you're this thing was cool until I realized it was part of a franchise. Maybe just be excited that they're doing something interesting. I think we should be applauding that you don't recognize it.
I mean, this was my attitude with Silent Hill F. I mean, publishers just slapping an established name onto something that's otherwise totally unrelated is just something I guess we're going to have to live with. It needn't necessarily taint something that's genuinely new and interesting, in my view.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Jay, you and I both watched Andor. Andor was Tony Gilroy's way to make like a giant war espionage epic. And if he had to do it using Disney's money and in the Star Wars playground, well, fuck it.
And if it gets more people into the thing, I think it can be worthwhile. Whether the COD dev team will do that is a different question. Like, I think it's good to stay skeptical. But also, if this thing made you excited, follow that feeling, right?
David Hughes gives $5 and says, I'm excited for Mandrake, but I'd play anything from Fail Better Games. Now, Fail Better are the guys who made... Help me out here.
Checking right now.
I've never played Help Me Out here.
Sunless Sea.
Oh, yes. Them lads.
Yeah, Mandrake looked pretty cool. Isometric
Is it like an alchemy game?
RPG.
Looks
it had a little bit of like the cozy horticulture stuff, living in a world.
That dialogue box, wow.
I gotta say, it looks a bit visually flat. Looks like fucking Dink Smallwood from that angle.
Can we roll back a couple seconds and give me a definition of whatever just happened?
Dink Smallwood, it was an indie game. Forget it.
Is it Dink apostrophe S? Is like Dink the owner of Smallwood?
Dink and their surname is Smallwood.
I just got my first taste of what it's like to be trapped in the British dimension and not understand what's going on. Dink Smallwood sounds like an obscure British TV show.
1998. What is this game?
Eric, bring up some fucking Dink Smallwood footage for the nice
man. Don't Google
Eric.
Dink Smallwood. Don't Google
Eric,
Dink Smallwood.
Google it in all caps.
Don't. You're going to be put on a list.
Eric's already on the list for all the things he's Googled for this podcast.
Everyone in the chat's going to know what Dink Smallwood is.
No one in the chat knows what Dink Smallwood is.
How many people are watching? I bet there aren't like even two.
Hey,
there's nearly 600 people watching.
Chat, shout out if you know what Dink Smallwood is.
Look at that. What's he doing with that duck?
You don't want to know.
Well, it's fine.
Anyway.
It's Smallwood.
Vactor, member for 17 months in the Green Gang, says RE7 was like RE4 in the suck cycle, so RE9 is Resident Evil 6. Like I said, Vactor, thank you for asking.
There will never be another Resident Evil 6. That was just fucking hubris incarnate.
Helena!
Thank you. Frog in a Bin gives $4.99 and says Final Fantasy IX is a fun one to play through, Jay. Very charming and some of the best music in the series. Yeah, I did like that one because it was getting away from the pretty anime sword boy cyberpunk thing that always sort of turned me off from Final Fantasy VII onwards.
Yeah. 6, 7, 9, 10, 12. Those are the goodies.
What's wrong with 8?
8, every time I say things I don't like about 8, people get extremely mad at me. But it's because they're fucking dumb and 8's kind of sucky.
But it was the love story of a generation, apparently.
Which game is that tiny wizard boy with the eyes and the hat?
That's 9. That's 9.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, play 9.
Okay, we'll play 9 then. Sovereign gives €5. Says, can we talk about the irony that The Outer Worlds 2, the sequel to a game about the evils of corpo culture, will be the first Microsoft game to cost $80? Boy, that's like the second biggest reason not to buy it besides the previous game.
Yeah, I fell off the previous one hard.
I was so Microsoft had their conference, and then immediately afterwards they had like a 30-minute thing dedicated solely to Outer Worlds 2. And they've done it the last few years. I think 2 years ago they did it with Starfield. Last year they did it with whatever Call of Duty it was, which makes sense. Those games are very big. I get why they do it. Outer Worlds just didn't seem like a game big enough to devote that kind of primetime slot to.
Maybe the director's fucking someone at Microsoft. Maybe he gives the best blowjobs.
Yeah. But also, we just have to...
the Outer Worlds, right?
Outer Worlds, yeah.
Yes, we always confuse those two, don't we?
I think they also both came out the same year. So
on Steam alone, it sold 782,000 units. It made 24.2 million on Steam alone.
Yes, but was that enough? Did it make
Well,
its
you
budget
got to think
back?
it's on Game Pass, right? So it's probably making a huge amount over there. Yeah, for like a
Yeah.
huge AAA project, it's not. I mean,
It-
I
don't
made a
think
video
it's-
about this. A game that sold 1.3 million copies with Prince of Persia got shut down, and this
I don't
game
think
sold
it's
780.
yeah. I mean, Obsidian's an interesting studio because they're releasing literally 4 games this year. Like they had Avowed, they have this coming, they have Grounded 2 coming, and they have
Yeah.
maybe it's just those 3, maybe it's not 4. But I have a feeling their studios or their teams are relatively smaller. I also a lot of people say it, I kind of feel like I get the whole idea of if you work at a corporation, you can't make anti-corporate art. Like that gotcha just is, I'm numb to that gotcha now because fucking everything is under a corporation. So I think you kind of need to separate the artists from the penny pinchers and to be like, well, if you really want to be anti-corporate, quit your job. And it's like, well, maybe
It was, well, if it has microtransactions in it, that's when it's kind of shooting itself in the.
Michael transaction.
He's over there. It's microtransaction.
Yes.
Shoot him in the head.
Do you know the transactions? Yes.
See, that would be a great indie game, like story
That's good.
plot.
Yeah.
Microtransactions saves the world. Neuras 25 gives 10 rons and says Tides of Tomorrow looks cool in theory. We'll see. What's that then?
Was that then? Great question. I still am looking at Dick Smallwood. Tides of Tomorrow also looked like a game that may or may not be real, but it is an asymmetrical multiplayer game where you are seeing like your story choices and the ghosts of other people's story choices are all happening in the world at the same time. It was kind of like a heady concept that I couldn't fully wrap my head around, but I'm interested to see. Like you can follow other people's stories and either deviate or do what they're doing
to like help you follow plot points in the moment.
Yeah, I had a little hard time understanding. Yeah, I was mostly just like, okay, tell me more, as opposed to being like, this is really cool. I was intrigued.
Yeah, I want to know more. Yeah.
Anyway, Hunter Roach, member for 18 months in the Green Gang, says nothing to add. Just happy to support you, nerds.
Oh, thanks, Hunter. Appreciate you.
And then Evil Engine number 9 gives $5. Says, don't disturb the puppies. I pay the fee when I incidentally see the puppies. That being said, Ludo fee.
Ludo fee?
Ludo fee. Past the back of my head recently.
Ludo fee.
Will Cooling gives £2. Says, Roman democracy was ended by Caesar and Proto-Empire. Yeah, democracy.
Yeah, but we got the salad out of it, so top 5 salad as well.
Yeah.
Do you think Caesar is a top 5 salad? Look at Ludo.
I'd prefer. I like a salad with blue cheese in it myself.
Ooh.
Oh, lovely.
I like a blue cheese.
Have you heard that thing that apparently we're all pronouncing Caesar wrong? It's supposed to be something more like Kizir.
Excuse me? Say it again.
Or Kiza.
Oh, Kiza.
He's a right Kiza.
He's a right Kiza.
Stab in the back, mate.
Or Kaiza. Or Kaizi. They say it should maybe be a hard C, and the S should maybe be pronounced more like a Z. But no one really knows because no one remembers anyone speaking Latin in living history.
You know what? If we wanted, if he wanted us to pronounce his name wrong, he shouldn't have got fucking marked by all of his buddies.
There you go.
Think about that.
Brad gives $2 and says, COD is played out. We need a new fish-based FPS, IMO.
I see what you did there.
Fish
Bass?
person swimming?
Battlefield and Suicide Squad, Bass.
Sure.
It was bad.
Man.
It was bad. It wasn't good.
Did you pull a hamstring there? That was a mad stretch.
It was
okay.
Listen, there's no bad. This is we're riffing. There's no wrong answers.
There's no bad goof.
It's called yes anding. Look it up.
Honestly, no move on for that one.
Mr. Movies, etc. gives $5. Says, I'll try to get excited for some of these, though when the Silent Hill F trailer dropped, all I heard in my head was Yahtzee saying, "Part" from EP.
I
think I did do that.
F is a Forte sign, so I'm curious if they're going to pronounce it Silent Hill Forte.
I thought it was one of those old-fashioned
I'm going to count
S's.
the wobbly women in this trailer.
Okay, let's go. Wobbly women, go.
Start the trailer. Rewind. Eric, put it back. Show me the wobbly
She's
woman.
not wobbling. She's normal. She's normal.
No, they are women, but they are in
these,
fact not
these are
wobbling.
normal girls. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for wobbly girls.
No one's wobbling. No one's wobbling. No one's wobbling. Oh, no, that's a wobbly.
Wait, you skipped too far forward. Eric, go back.
Was that a
You skipped
a wobbly woman?
Oh, she's wobbling.
She's wobbling. She's
She's wobbling.
wobbling.
She's wobbling. She's wobbling.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
wobbling. She's
Wobbly,
wobbling.
wobbly.
It's the same woman, just
She's
different
wobbling.
environment. So I'm gonna count that as one.
Wait, so
But-
maybe
Ooh.
this is just a wobbly woman as opposed
A
to
wobbly
wobbly
woman?
women.
Yeah, but they showed the same wobbly woman in multiple locations. So it's a
No,
big
that's the
focus
thing. Maybe
on the
this
wobble.
game only has one wobbly woman. She's
Yeah,
chasing
maybe
you.
it's
She's like Pyramid
Well,
Head.
we're about to see
Yeah.
more.
Okay.
Well, there's a sea of wobbly women. Wait for the wobble. Wait for the wobble.
She's not gonna wobble.
gonna-
There's no way this
they're
one's
gonna
gonna
wobble?
wobble. There's no way. Oh, she's
there we
wobbling.
go. Oh,
She's wobbling.
Well,
Oh, look. What's that? What's that? Wait, she's there. She's fine.
see, I thought you were talking about like mad vibrating, like the one dude in Jacob's Ladder with the bag on his head.
Oh,
But,
that guy's
just
scary
sort
as
of
hell.
Yeah, just sort of
Oh, look,
unnatural
wobbly women.
movement of
Wobbly
the
women.
limbs. I'm not
Wobbly
seeing
women.
much. This is just unnaturally jointed movement.
That sounds like wobbly women.
All
It
right.
doesn't sound.
Wobbly
Fine.
Wobbly women
True,
is
true.
less about the wobbly women and more about it's
Wait,
fun to see.
and the kicker, the one glimpse of a villain of like a boss we get to see. What is it? Wait, what is it?
Is it a wobbly woman?
Wait,
I don't believe it.
I know those feet. Is that a woman? Oh, she's wobbling.
She wobbling. She wobbling. She absolutely
She got a hole as well.
What?
It's just.
Okay.
Oh my
endless,
god!
man.
What are we doing now?
Wow, that looked kind of lame, actually.
Oh,
Diane
lovely woman.
Spencer gives £10 and says, "Wish me luck, as I have 2 interviews this week. Good luck and
Good luck,
good luck."
Diane Spencer. I believe in
You
you.
fucking got this, mate. Come on. And I want to hear you. I want to hear how they went. Even if you get it or not, the experience is what you're after. So I want to
There you
hear
go.
how they went.
Boom.
Pathetic Frogs gives $2 and says, "OMG, more frogs."
Frogs.
Okay.
Frogs.
That
I like
was
frogs.
a big.
I almost ran over a frog while I was mowing my lawn earlier the weekend. I didn't.
Oh,
though.
boy.
I felt bad. I was like, "Get out of the way!" And it just kind of stood there and looked at me, and I'm like, "I've got a fucking lawnmower. Get out of the way!"
And I walked right past a couple of deer walking with the dog this morning, and they just stared at me. I was like 2 feet away, and they were just staring. And I was like,
Wait.
and my dog was, and Toffee was growling when I was like, "Don't be so rude. I'm so sorry about him. You go about your way, little deer. Have a nice
I was going
morning."
to say, it sounded like the way you phrased it made it sound like you were just on a stroll and so were they on the pavement and you happened to pass each other.
Yeah,
Two
you
shorts and a night.
have to do that thing like, "Oh, how close together is it before I do
Well,
the nod, the
hey,
wave?"
Well,
Yeah,
basically they were. We were that close. They're
Yeah.
far away. 'Cause the deer, there's tons of deer around these parts. They're always like hanging out in people's front gardens, eating all the nicely tended lawns.
Legends.
Hell yeah.
Chris 12412345123 gives $2. Says, "Comment on new Owlcat game. It was at Future Game." What's that one then? Is it this thing we're looking at now?
And what did Alcat work on?
CRPGs.
Oh,
I
the
feel like
Expanse
they-
thing. Yes.
Oh,
I
the
heard about
Expanse thing.
Expanse
That's
game.
right. It's Mass Effect, but Expanse. They're the ones who did
Yes, yes.
Warhammer Rogue Trader.
Boo.
This just makes me want to
Boo.
actually watch The Expanse. It's something that's
Makes
been
me
on my
wanna
list
rewatch
for a
The
long
Expanse.
time.
Makes me absolutely want to rewatch The Expanse, which is a
It
very
really,
good show.
it really does just sound like Mass Effect, to be
Yeah.
honest. As someone who has never seen The Expanse and knows nothing about it.
But I've heard it's a really interesting IP. They do some really interesting science fiction things in The Expanse. So hopefully they could do something interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They do interesting sci-fi stuff, but it's also just like really great character slash
Drama,
like
yeah.
class struggles and all that shit.
And Raven gives $5 and says, "Make a note, guys. Next week's word will be tangentially related to wobbly women." Oh, let me
excited.
help you out. Oscillatory. Oscillatory. There you go. There's a very obscure word that means wobbly.
I mean, I could see the root of oscillate there, so I get that.
There you
Oh
go.
my god, Latin?
I have no idea. Anyway,
In
that's
this
all the super
economy?
chats. Yay! Thank you very
did it,
much for
lads.
listening to the Windbreakers podcast. Let's cross our fingers and hope for a bright future. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up, is there? I was Yahtzee, and I was joined by Jay and Marty as always. And don't forget, there's content all week on Second Wind every day. It's just pouring out of us like terminal diarrhea.
Not Saturday,
Week.
because that's the Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually not sure
this-
what day the Sabbath is. I don't think it's Saturday.
This week, fully emblematic this week, will be about Fantasy Life I, actually, following up on Marty's coverage of that game.
The girl
and
who
I've
stole
also,
time.
exactly. And I've got a semi-ram coming out on Thursday as well, which will be about the one last kick into Doom the Dark Ages. So look forward to that.
Stop is
And-
already dead.
And don't forget, the new episode of Venture is Nigh on Saturday.
Oh
Ooh,
my God.
What's gonna happen next? Things really hotting up as we get towards the final act of season 4.
My lord. My lord.
So that's the stuff that I'm in. What else? Oh, I think there's going to be a new Patreon exclusive video. One of my lore videos will be dropping this week, hopefully.
Oh
So-
my God.
This time, I'm going to be discussing the lore of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. That will
As-
be going out exclusively to Patreon subscribers.
As
So,
narrated by the
yeah.
not narrated, as written by the historian himself, Eric.
Yes, Eric himself.
Thank you, Eric.
He wrote it up in universe chronological order. So yeah, look forward to
Listen,
that.
I had to read it. Yahtzee had to speak it. Eric had to write it. So you all have to fucking watch it.
You all have to fucking join the Patreon and watch it because that's the only way you're watching it.
Does Sonic have any wobbly women?
Oh yeah, he famously got snogged by one, if you'll recall.
Any woman who's out there kissing a hedgehog, she's
It's
a
like-
little wobbly.
I didn't think I
Yeah.
could be more
Well, she will be
turned away from
afterwards.
Sonic. Oh my god.
It's because of all the
Yes.
sex.
Yes, we all know Eric has that particular moment thumbnailed somewhere, bookmarked, ready to bring up a moment.
That's his fucking desktop background. What are you
Yeah.
chatting?
I like how the sort of the blurs on the side, the thing you do with like the 4x3, it looked like it made like Knuckles' like soul was leaving his body when he saw a human woman kiss
It is.
Sonic. He was like, what the fuck?
What?
Get me out of here.
Yo!
I'm Idris Elba. Anyway. Yes. What other content is coming out this week, chaps?
This week, stuff and things are happening upon the regular. There are many streams. Marty, you should probably take this.
I thought you were doing a great job, personally. Yeah, we got a packed stream schedule this week. We'll have Hidden Gems tonight. Nick and Jenna will be playing hella demos tomorrow. Yahtzee tries. Casey and I are going to be doing something Wednesday evening. We haven't figured out what because we finished Metroid, all the normal stuff. A programming note. There is going to be a Dev Heads this week on Friday.
Mhm.
Yeah. And because Dev Heads kind of got shuffled around a little bit, we are moving Rewind to the opposite week, also because that would allow us to hit the big July movie. So there will be no Rewind tomorrow, but we will be back next week, and then it will be in its normal every other week schedule. So just don't worry, you'll be fine. And
Well,
if you're not
sorry
fine,
for
it's fine.
Rewind fans, but also you're welcome. You know,
We were literally going to have to move it in July anyway, so this is just us moving it a few weeks earlier. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. We did it. Yeah.
Oh, one last fucking super chat. The last second.
I love
Dr.
it.
Theo is $5 says, I feel like if you read the FNAF lore this week, it would have been topical thanks to Springtrap in DBD and also Secret of the Mimic coming soon.
oh,
FNAF lore.
What? Also,
that
there can't be a
is-
secret of the mimic. We know it's just a fucking. You think it's a treasure chest, but it's not. It's a little monster. What kind
Yeah.
of secret is that? I already know that secret.
also unrelated on J content. I just released a video on Lies of P, completely unrelated. Just felt like making it. They shadow dropped the DLC.
Oh yeah, has anyone played that? Has Jess played that?
I ain't
at all?
touched it. I was busy on the weekend trying not to get deported. So
It. I gotta because like Jess and Casey are big old P liars. So I want to see if that's any good.
They are,
I also
yeah.
want to see if the easy mode's easy enough for me to play it because the game's too hard.
really good narrative.
Anyway, that'll be it from us for this morning. I'm going to go get my lunch. Afternoon, if you're in some heathen time zone. So, see you next time, everyone.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye everyone.